Good morning. I hope you enjoyed learning about the artist Wesley Kandinsky and how he sees and hears color when he hears different kinds of music. We're going to explore different types of shapes and lines in our next work of art. We're going to make an abstract work, which means it doesn't necessarily look like an object, like a person or an animal or a flower. It will be simply just shapes and lines. And we're going to create this work by listening to some music. And we're going to try to visualize which shapes and lines we can see based on what we hear. To get started on this work, we're going to need two supplies. I want you to go into your art kit and find the biggest piece of paper that's in there. It should be the shape of a square. I would also like for you to get out a pencil because that's going to be what we use to make our first marks. Once you have those two supplies out and ready to go, we are going to fold our paper 2 times so that we get 4 small squares on this paper. So here's how I'm going to do that. When I'm folding my paper, I want to make sure it has equal shapes. So how to do that is I want to make sure that before I press down and make my crease, I want to line up my edges, and then I hold down the side with one hand, and I'll use my other hand to, I like to say, press down the bubble. So that's one fold. So I'll end up with 2 rectangles if I open this up. That's where I have 2 long sides and 2 short sides. But I want to fold this into 4 squares. So I'm going to fold it one more time. So I'm going to lift up one of my short sides. Might have to use a hand to help the paper bend because it's a little thicker. I will line up my short edges to make sure that my work is equal. And then I will press down, I will hold down the open side with one hand, and I will press down the bubble with another hand. And I'm going to make sure that I really press down to get a nice crease. Then when I open this paper back up, if you look closely at the folds, you'll notice that you have quarters, or 4 small squares in your singular large square. Once you have this complete, you are ready for the next step, where we are going to listen to music and draw at the same time. As we listen to the music, think about what kinds of marks that sound might be like if you were going to make it on a piece of paper. What might a spiral sound like? Or a broken line that doesn't connect all the way? How might a wavy line or a zigzag line sound? When you put lines together, you create shapes. Some of those shapes are geometric shapes that are the same on both sides or have straight lines. Those are shapes that we can identify or name, so we might know what a circle looks like. There are also organic shapes that look like nature. They might look like a leaf or a flower. They might have wiggly wobbly edges. Those shapes might have different sounds depending on what you're listening to. To begin my drawing, I'm going to take my large square paper that I divided into 4 sections, and I'm going to set it in front of me so that I'm ready to start making my marks when the music starts to play. I'm also going to take my pencil. Now, to hold my pencil, I have my thumb, my pointer finger, and my middle finger holding it by the tip. This will help you balance it as you begin to write. I'm going to show you the marks that I make, mostly lines and shapes, based on a song that I'm listening to. I will have that video playing with a song so that you can make your own marks based on what you hear and see. After you have finished drawing in pencil and the song is complete, put your pencil away and get out your black crayon. Go over top of your pencil marks with the black crayon, trying to go over top of them as best you can, but it's okay if it's not directly on top and you see a little bit of the pencil coming through. Your goal is to go over top of those lines to fill in a lot of your paper so that next time we have art class, you'll have a space to start experimenting with color. Now that your pencil and crayon are put away, it's time to store your art paper for next week. I'm going to fold my paper so that I have black lines showing on one side. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half on the crease that I have already created and fold it in half again so that I have some of my black lines showing on one of my squares. We will be working on one square at a time to finish up this work. See you tomorrow.